I was definitely there. Crazy how you try to run with a natter, bitch. You watch us walk in and walk out. You was hiding in the corner. What are you talking about? I came for my wire. I told Lemmy I was gonna be there, so I went. I came and I dipped. What the denied what? You sound dumb as a bitch. What the and you sound like a hating ass. I'm just trying to pick up money. That's what the going on. Money on the motherfucking floor, and I picked it up. I mean, you know, you said I put up with 20 bloods. So, so y'all watched us walk in. Y'all watched us walk out. What you talking about? Y'all is geeking. Y'all some scary ass bitches. Real shit. And you talking about, yo, y'all just some scary ass. Like, what the you acting like we came to see y'all. We did not come to see y'all ugly asses, bitch. We came to get paid, bitch.
The next day.
I feel really bad that she thinks that that Blue don't want her to eat and he don't want her to win. That's really sad. The sad part about it is that wherever he go and he eat at, he tell them, make sure you eat, make sure my mama eat, make sure this, make sure that.
Buckle up, because what you're about to hear makes the Kardashians look like quiet librarians on a yoga retreat. A scandal so chaotic, so unnecessarily dramatic, so Karlissa coded, that even Zeus Network executives probably spit out their Red Bulls trying to figure out if this was real life or a deleted Baddies audition tape. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Blueface's mother has officially detonated. And not just a mild meltdown, we're talking full volcanic eruption. Lava everywhere, cameras rolling, ego shattered, wig holding on by a single bobby pin. Because after being denied at the Baddies premiere, denied like she forgot her homework, denied like a declined credit card at Gucci, Karlissa decided the only logical response was to morph into Chrisean Rock herself. Not figuratively, not spiritually, not giving Chrisean energy. No, she mocked Chrisean Rock like it was a TikTok trend gone nuclear. One witness said the impersonation was so dramatic it gave Tyler Perry flashbacks. Another said security had to step back because they weren't sure if they were dealing with Karlissa, Chrisean, or a multiverse glitch. And as the footage leaked online, social media did what social media does best: explode harder than Karlissa's temper. Welcome to the scandal they tried to cover up. Welcome to the meltdown of the decade. Welcome to Karlissa versus Chrisean 2.0. The night of the Baddies premiere was supposed to be polished, chaotic, and glamorous in the way only Zeus Network can pull off, meaning glitter mixed with pure dysfunction. Celebrities posed like they were auditioning for relevance, influencers stretched their necks to get in camera view, and security stood stiff pretending drama wasn't lurking outside. But then the sidewalk started shaking, not from an earthquake, but from the arrival of one woman whose energy could power a small city, Karlissa Saffold. She walked in like she was headlining the event, or at minimum, owned the copyrights to everybody's trauma. She approached security with the confidence of someone who has never believed rules applied to her. Her chin was high, her walk was aggressive, and her energy screamed, "Let me through before I turn this into a reunion episode." But the universe had other plans. When security typed her name into the iPad, it didn't pop up, not spelled correctly, not spelled wrong, not abbreviated, not even hidden behind a glitch. It was simply not there. And when the guard hit her with that corporate sweet, fake polite tone, "Ma'am, you are not on the list," you could feel every atom in the air freeze like a horror movie. Karlissa's face cracked faster than an iPhone screen without a case. Her lips parted, her eyes widened, and her whole soul jumped out like, "Not today." She demanded to know who removed her name, who sabotaged her entrance. Who dared treat the mother of Blueface like a regular civilian? People walking by pretended not to stare, but they stared harder than the FBI in a high-profile investigation. It wasn't just a denial. It was an ego homicide happening in real time. And security had accidentally pressed the detonate button. Within seconds, Karlissa escalated from mildly offended to biblical wrath. She went live on Instagram faster than you can say messy, pointing the camera at her own face like she was reporting breaking news. Her voice got louder, her sentences got meaner, and her whole aura screamed, "This is a personal attack on my legacy." She accused the network of conspiracy, favoritism, and plotting against her as if Zeus executives woke up that morning specifically to ruin her life. The sidewalk had officially become her courtroom, but the meltdown didn't stop at yelling. Oh no, this was just Karlissa stretching before the real performance. Somewhere in the middle of her meltdown, her voice shifted. Her posture changed. Her energy mutated. Witnesses said it happened slowly, like a possession taking over. One moment she sounded like herself, and the next she was channeling someone else entirely, someone chaotic, someone loud, someone who always speaks from the stomach like every sentence is a declaration of war. And then they realized Karlissa was impersonating Chrisean Rock. At first, people didn't believe it. They blinked, squinted, whispered to each other. But the more she talked, the more obvious it became. She mimicked Chrisean's tone, raspy, wild, unpredictable. She copied Chrisean's walk, loose, unbothered, almost stumbling. She even reenacted Chrisean's dramatic hand gestures, the ones that look like she's conducting an orchestra of chaos. A girl near the front gasped so loud she practically inhaled the night air. Someone else whispered, "Ain't no way." She is not doing that. Double quotes. Oh, she was doing that. She was doing all of it. Full commitment, Oscar-level delusion. Security stepped back like she was transforming into a mythical creature. A group of people pulled out their phones to record, because in 2025, no one helps, everyone captures. And Karlissa, in full meltdown mode, yelled that she could have been Chrisean if she wanted to. That line alone sent the crowd into emotional cardiac arrest. The audacity was doing gymnastics, and the delusion was lifting weights. Within minutes, the footage hit Twitter. Yes, we're still calling it Twitter. Nobody respects that X nonsense, and the internet detonated. Memes exploded like confetti. One clip was captioned Karlissa auditioning for Chrisean's biopic. Another said, "Zeus Network watching this like, don't tempt us. We'll greenlight it." Thousands of comments poured in, ranging from pure shock to uncontrollable laughter. Some people said she was the final boss of messy mothers. Others said she was fighting demons and demons were winning. But beneath all the comedy, there was a deeper tension simmering. A long-standing rivalry that's older than half of Chrisean's hairstyles. Ever since Chrisean entered the Blueface universe, Karlissa's spotlight has been dimming like a dying streetlight. She's tried to stay relevant with rants, interviews, podcasts, and emotionally charged Instagram lives. But nothing hit quite like impersonating the one woman she blames for stealing her son, her fame, and apparently, her sanity. The meltdown was her attempt to reclaim the throne, even if the throne was made of broken TikTok clips and leftover drama. Meanwhile, inside the premiere, the cast had no idea what was happening outside. They were too busy posing, arguing about outfits, and starting drama that would later be edited down to 34 minutes of premium Zeus entertainment. While they were sipping champagne, Karlissa was outside reenacting old fights, talking to invisible Blueface, and threatening producers who weren't even in the building. It was like she was performing her own one-woman reality show right there on the sidewalk, and the internet wasn't done with her. New angles dropped every hour. More clips emerged. Reaction videos popped up like popcorn. TikTok detectives analyzed her body language like it was a hostage video. And through it all, Karlissa kept spiraling, kept yelling, kept insisting she was wronged on levels that only Greek tragedies usually reach. This wasn't a tantrum. This was a cinematic crisis wrapped in ego, sprinkled with delusion, and served with a side of generational drama. But the true wildfire started when celebrities began chiming in. Blueface said something shady. Natalie Nunn rolled her eyes online. Zeus fans dragged her like and paid rent. And once Chrisean herself heard what happened, oh, the internet almost collapsed. Because nothing in this universe, not planets, not politics, not pandemics, is louder than Chrisean Rock responding to someone imitating her. And Karlissa had just poked the loudest bear in the zoo. And trust me, once the reactions started rolling in, this scandal took on a life of its own. Wilder, louder, messier, and far from over. Once the first wave of clips hit the internet, everything escalated faster than a Zeus reunion fight. TikTok stitched the meltdown into mini movies. Twitter turned the impersonation into a national comedy festival. And Instagram pages started posting slow-motion edits like Karlissa was performing Shakespeare in the Hood. The chaos didn't spread, it multiplied. Every hour, new footage dropped, each angle making her imitation look more professionally rehearsed than the actual baddie's cast. It looked less like a meltdown and more like she had trained for this moment her whole life. Then the celebrities started reacting, and that's when things reached nuclear territory. Natalie Nunn rolled her eyes so dramatically on Liv that fans commented she might sprain her forehead. Whack 100 jumped online acting like a disappointed principal at a school full of delinquents. Even Chrisean outside the Zeus bubble posted a cryptic story like, "Some people need Jesus and a nap." But the internet's favorite reaction came from Blueface himself, who dropped a petty little laughing emoji like he was watching his own mother audition for Chaos Olympics. That one emoji alone generated more drama than a full season of couples therapy. But of course, the reaction everyone waited for was Chrisean Rock's, the human siren whose scream can crack stone and whose clapbacks land like frying pans. When she finally heard that Karlissa was outside mocking her walk, voice, and spirit, she didn't even need to say much. She just laughed on Liv, that loud, chaotic, unmistakable Chrisean laugh, the kind that sounds like a fire alarm mixed with a celebration. And the internet went insane. People said it felt like two dragons acknowledging each other across the sky. Chrisean didn't go on a rant. She didn't have to. All she did was sip her drink and smirk, like she knew the universe was serving karma on a silver platter. But fans did the ranting for her. They flooded the comments saying Karlissa was obsessed, jealous, and fighting shadows that weren't even attacking her. Some even joked that Karlissa was practicing to replace Chrisean on the show. The memes evolved into masterpieces, comparing Karlissa to the evil twin in those old soap operas who steals identities out of boredom. As if the reactions weren't wild enough, the producers of Zeus decided to make the situation even messier. They posted a cryptic story saying, "You'll see what's going on outside? Should we roll cameras?" The internet erupted again. People begged them to start a spin-off called Keeping Up with Karlissa's Delusion. Others suggested putting both women in a boxing ring and letting history write itself. One fan said Chrisean versus Karlissa would break the app. And honestly, they weren't wrong. While the internet laughed, Karlissa kept doubling down like she was being paid by the minute. Instead of walking away quietly, she leaned deeper into character, yelling lines like, "Y'all don't know me. Stop playing with me," in a Chrisean-coded voice that made bystanders suck in air like they had witnessed a supernatural event. At one point, she even pretended to trip, then stood up laughing hysterically, trying to mimic Chrisean's signature chaotic confidence. It was performance art mixed with madness, wrapped in delusion, topped with mother-in-law energy. People on the scene said it felt like watching a multiverse glitch. Some compared it to when Loki clones himself in Marvel movies. Others said it reminded them of those YouTube videos where celebrities try impersonating each other. Except this was not cute, not funny, not lighthearted. This was emotional warfare dressed as comedy. There was a moment when even security whispered to each other, unsure if they were witnessing a mental breakdown or an audition for a Zeus spin-off nobody asked for. Meanwhile, bloggers and gossip pages had the time of their lives. They crafted headlines so dramatic that it felt like Hollywood got jealous. Karlissa becomes Chrisean 2.0, identity theft in the streets, and mother of Blueface possessed by pure chaos. Every outlet wanted a slice of the meltdown pie. Reaction channels went live, fans called in, some defending Karlissa, others dragging her through digital mud. It felt like a nationwide debate over the world's weirdest impersonation scandal. But the true twist came when the cast inside the premiere finally got notified about the madness happening outside. Someone showed Stunna Girl the clip, and she nearly choked on her drink laughing. Tommy Lee allegedly said something shady like, "At least she picked the right person to imitate, 'cause both of them be acting possessed." Even Rolly chimed in on Liv, calling it Oscar-worthy delusion. The reactions snowballed, and each celebrity added their own brand of gasoline to the fire. The pressure of the internet mocking her didn't calm Karlissa down. It made her louder. She began reenacting old arguments with Chrisean, even though Chrisean wasn't there. She shouted at imaginary producers like she was suing the air. She argued with invisible enemies only she could see. Bystanders described it as watching a Facebook rant escape the phone and come alive in 3D. The spectacle grew so intense that some people stepped back, scared she might levitate next. The funniest part? Karlissa insisted she was the victim. She claimed the network was plotting against her. She said certain cast members were jealous of her spotlight. She blamed haters for removing her name from the list, as if some secret committee met in a dark room to sabotage her appearance. The internet didn't buy it for a second. One viral comment read, "Girl, nobody took you off the list. They just didn't put you on the list." As the impersonation spread globally, even celebrities outside the Zeus universe chimed in. Saucy Santana joked that Karlissa needed a Grammy. Tokyo Tony said she should join her reality show. One random love and hip-hop star commented, "At least she trying to act. Some of y'all can't deliver a scene." The chaos transcended platforms, and soon the entire entertainment world was watching this meltdown like a car crash they couldn't look away from. But none of that compared to the moment the paparazzi showed up. They arrived earlier than expected, thinking the drama was inside. But when they saw Karlissa outside acting like the unofficial Chrisean understudy, they switched into National Geographic mode. They captured every expression, every scream, every wobble in her impersonated walk. The flashes lit up her meltdown like a red carpet for madness. And with each new photo, the internet found new material to roast out. By nighttime, the situation took on mythic proportions. Fans started spinning theories, saying she was jealous, saying she wanted attention, saying she wanted to humiliate Chrisean, or maybe prove she could out-Chrisean. Some even joked that she had studied Chrisean's fights like they were college lecture videos. And honestly, they weren't entirely wrong, because her accuracy was suspicious, too sharp, too polished, too rehearsed. It made people wonder if she practiced this in the mirror. But the real storm was yet to come, because the night wasn't even close to over. And once the aftermath hit, everything changed. By the time the sun started sinking and the neon lights outside the premiere flickered brighter, the chaos around Karlissa had mutated into something bigger than all of them. What began as a simple denial at the door had spiraled into a full-blown cultural event. The internet wasn't just laughing anymore. It was analyzing, dissecting, stitching, remixing, and diagnosing. Some people said she was clout-hungry. Others said she was hurt. A few insisted she was possessed by the ghost of reality TV. But one thing everyone agreed on: she had made a spectacle that Zeus couldn't have scripted better if they had a writers. Room full of caffeinated interns. As more blogs posted updates, the tone shifted from comedy to concern. People started asking whether this was a cry for help or just another episode of Karlissa Unfiltered. Some pointed out that years of family drama, online feuds, and internet wars had finally taken a toll. But every time someone tried to paint her as a victim, another clip surfaced showing her doubling down in full Chrisean character, making sympathy disappear into thin air. Her behavior had crossed from dramatic to unforgettable, and the internet was determined to replay it until the end of time. Inside the premiere, the atmosphere changed completely once word spread about the impersonation. Cast members weren't just laughing anymore, they were plotting. Producers whispered to each other with excitement, sensing new content forming like clouds before a storm. A few cast members pulled out their phones to record reaction videos right on the spot. It was clear that Karlissa had unintentionally provided Zeus Network with enough storyline material to power 2 seasons and a reunion special. They didn't even have to film her inside. She was giving them viral content outside for free. Meanwhile, Blueface stayed cryptic, acting like the meltdown wasn't affecting him. even though the entire internet knew he was watching every clip. He posted vague comments, dropped petty emojis, and kept his energy unbothered. But fans noticed he didn't defend his mother, didn't deny her antics, didn't soften the blow. That silence spoke louder than any statement could, and people began wondering if the relationship between mother and son had reached another irreversible breaking point. It wasn't drama anymore. It looked like a family fracture unfolding in front of millions. But the person the internet was most curious about was Chrisean Rock. After her initial laugh, she went quiet, and that silence terrified everyone more than any rant could. Fans waited for her to explode, expected her to go live, expected her to drag Karlissa through digital fire. But instead, she said nothing for hours. That silence made people ask, was she plotting? Was she unbothered? Was she preparing a comeback statement so powerful it would shut down the entire timeline? When Chrisean doesn't respond immediately, it means the response is going to hit like a meteor. When she finally addressed it, she didn't respond with anger, she responded with confusion. She asked why Karlissa was imitating her, why she was pressed, why she was acting like a fan with beef. The internet screamed. Chrisean's tone wasn't violent, it was dismissive. She treated Karlissa like a minor inconvenience, like background noise, like a side character auditioning for attention. And that hurt Karlissa more than anything. Rejection stings, but being dismissed, that's emotional devastation in high definition. Once the dust started settling, the narrative began to shift. Commentators began arguing whether Karlissa had officially crossed the line from messy to unhinged. People questioned her intentions, her mental state, her motives, and her obsession with being relevant in her son's chaotic universe. Even those who used to defend her began stepping back, saying they couldn't support this level of delusion anymore. It was like the internet was holding an intervention through comments, memes, and shady posts. Those executives, however, saw dollar signs. They had meetings overnight, discussing how to incorporate the meltdown into future episodes or special one-off content. Someone leaked a rumor that the network wanted to film a sit-down between Karlissa and Chrisean, a showdown so explosive it would require two moderators and possibly an exorcist. That rumor alone gathered millions of impressions within hours. Fans begged for it, prayed for it, asked for it like it was a national necessity. If Zeus ever wanted to break the internet, this was the button to press. But the meltdown also had consequences for Karlissa behind the scenes. Some friends distanced themselves, afraid of being dragged into the spectacle. A couple of brands she collaborated with quietly removed her from upcoming promo plans. Even some of her own supporters admitted that the impersonation was too much, too far, or too embarrassing. Overnight, her reputation morphed from controversial mother to meme legend. And while memes are fun, they're not the kind of branding she wanted. Yet, in the strangest twist, the impersonation also gained her a new wave of unexpected supporters, people who found her chaos entertaining, who admired her dramatic commitment, who felt she was being pushed too hard by the internet. They argued she deserved a chance to explain herself, claimed she was reacting out of pain, not jealousy, and said the world needed to be more understanding. This turned her meltdown into a digital war zone, with fans, haters, defenders, comedians, and trolls all battling for narrative control. As the scandal cooled, Chrisean moved on like nothing happened, posting dances, selfies, and chaotic updates from her regular life. Her nonchalance made the whole situation even worse for Karlissa, because it confirmed that she hadn't gained any leverage, any clout, any upper hand. She didn't bother Chrisean. She didn't shake Chrisean's status. She didn't dent Chrisean's confidence. In fact, Chrisean looked stronger, calmer, more centered, which only flipped the spotlight into highlighting Karlissa's insecurity. Days passed, but the clips kept resurfacing. New opinions kept popping up. More influencers used it for content. The impersonation refused to die. It became one of those internet moments that becomes part of culture, the kind people reference months later. Don't pull a Karlissa. Stop acting like you're impersonating your enemies. The meltdown became slang. Became reference, became meme vocabulary, the kind of immortality nobody asks for. But the internet gives anyway. In the end, the situation changed the dynamic of the entire Blueface Chrisean Karlissa triangle. Fans started questioning loyalties. Critics started analyzing patterns. Even casual viewers realized that this level of drama wasn't normal. It was cinematic, tragic, chaotic, and strangely addictive. Karlissa didn't ruin her reputation, but she transformed it into something the internet will never forget. She went from controversial mother to full-blown viral legend, but not in the glamorous way she hoped. And the biggest question left floating in the digital universe was simple. If this is what happens over being denied at a premiere, what happens the next time a door closes on her? Because with Karlissa, every denial becomes a movie, every moment becomes a saga, and every scandal becomes a trailer for whatever meltdown comes next. And there you have it, the meltdown heard around the timeline, the impersonation nobody ordered, and the chaos that made the baddies premiere look like a calm PTA meeting. If you made it this far, congratulations! Your drama stamina is stronger than Karlissa's ego and more durable than Chrisean's Wi-Fi during a rant. But trust me, this saga is only the beginning. With these characters, scandals don't end. They reload like video game levels with extra boss fights attached. So before you run off to rewatch the clips and laugh all over again, make sure you smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit it so hard Karlissa feels it in her spine. Drop a comment and tell me whose impersonation she should attempt next, because at this point, anything is possible. And don't forget to subscribe, because around here, drama doesn't walk. It sprints, flips, screams, and occasionally impersonates people it can't stand. This channel is where the scandals land first, hit hardest, and stay messist. Turn on your notifications too, because you already know the next meltdown is loading somewhere in the universe. Someone's about to go live, someone's about to expose a secret, someone's about to fight their own reflection. And when they do, you'll want to be front row with popcorn ready. We don't sleep on drama here. We monitor it like toxic scientists, studying emotional earthquakes. So buckle up, stay locked in, stay nosy, and stay entertained. Because on Celeb SYNC, the scandals never simmer down. They evolve, multiply, and slap you in the face without warning. Until the next disaster hits your feed. See Celeb SYNC, where chaos comes to chill.